Welcome back to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph. Now, the market is showing signs of life. And I wanted to use today to take you back to give you an idea of what it looked like about a year ago or 10 months ago and some things that we saw in Bitcoin versus altcoins as we went into a pretty big bull run. Now, it was an early bull run, and so it was just, I guess, part of the larger bull run. We had some big increases as well as then some big pullbacks. But I want to share with you what that was like, Bitcoin versus some of the top 10 altcoins. All right, let me share my screen and let's get right into it. Here we're looking at the Brave New Liquid Coin Index. And the reason I like this chart sometimes is the history on it is tremendous. It goes back a long, long ways. Some of the stuff I do like to often use, say Binance's Bitcoin versus USD and other things, but I like this one when I'm looking at a lot of history. Let's look back just to here though. Now, this is the bear market, and this is what the bear market looked like, and it's, for those of you who weren't around, we had this big decline here after this peak that happened with Bitcoin in mid-December. And then altcoins peaked out, many of them early February or early January, and there were still several that popped off and did well through March, April, May, June, July, August, and then pretty much everything went on this longer decline to go to sleep, only popping off during the bear market when some big news would come out, and then everyone would FOMO into things, and then it would dump and it would retrace almost to the levels that it was at before. There are a few exceptions to this, like Chainlink and just a few others, but that's how most of it went. Now, you do see Bitcoin, though, went all the way down to almost $3,000 and then came up here to $14,000. A lot of that was driven by a Bitcoin scam that was run out of India and China. It was like Bitcoin One or something. I forget the name of it. But it was led by a PhD, I think, out of India, and eventually it came out that it was a Ponzi scheme. And people involved got arrested and caught, and you know what? Then Bitcoin came back down. But what I want to look at on the charts is right here when it decisively broke up. We see it breaking this trend line here, but it's still floating around some support levels. So let me just give you, like, it's still floating around this support level or this resistance level, right? So it came up here, hit this resistance, came back down. And it really was around the 20th of October that it decisively broke up. And look where it went from there. So I wanted to take a look at some numbers because we decisively broke up, not past a previous high, but past some support just recently. And so, in fact, you can see that here. I had these triangles drawn and it was following this trend and it decisively broke up. So let's do some measurements here. From about the 20th of August to this peak here, why is this in the way? It went up 417%, so about a 4x. That's pretty good over 176 days, so over 6 months it went up 4x. And that's the kind of movements Bitcoin can do, and even if you're looking at the chart, that's a pretty steep movement. Now, that's why I like some of these riskier altcoins, is because when they go bullish, they can do a lot more than 4x. But they can do a lot worse. You know, they can retrace 99% or they can go to zero. So they're just riskier. But I like to get an idea of what's happening with Bitcoin because it does set some trends for what will happen with altcoins. What's interesting is that we broke out on the 20th of October and continued strong all the way to April. The altcoins look very different, and this is the altcoin index perpetual futures, and essentially has the top 10 of the top altcoins. It has Ethereum, EOS, BCH, BNB, Litecoin, XRP, TRX, DOT, Link, and ADA. And so essentially this is like an index fund. But what I like is altcoins, people often, or in certain metrics, they include stable coins into the altcoins. I want to push those completely out of the picture and look at what our top 10 blue chip altcoins did. Now, I guess I wouldn't necessarily say those are our top 10. They're some of the top blue chips. Let's look at what they did. Notice that they didn't really start to do anything till the 1st of January. So it did come up a little bit. So this index was trading about 73, and it came up all the 773. It came up about not quite 100%, and then it just kind of bobbled around, traded sideways during this whole time. So Bitcoin took off on the 20th of October. So altcoins were doing nothing. And they did go up slightly, so they about doubled in that time. And then they bounced around sideways, came back down so that they're only 50% up from where they were. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has now gone up, I think it's 2x from here. Let's see. By the 1st of January, this indicator is making it hard. Let's give ourselves some more room here. Okay, by the 1st of January, it has gone up to about 30,000. So literally from there, it's 3x'd. And so then later, all the way till April, we get our top at about 65,000, which from 11,000, that's about a 5x. That's substantial for Bitcoin. That's a really big move. Okay, so what was happening here? Well, it really doesn't take off till January 1st. So from these lows, it goes up about 50% really. Then it goes off to the races, and all the way through mid-May, it goes up to almost at the very top. It's right under 7,000 from where it was here. So it goes 7x. And keep in mind, these are just blue chip altcoins. So altcoins tend, and this is also like an index of blue chip altcoins. If we looked at specific ones, they're going to have done even better or worse depending on it. So this is why the other day I was talking about some might consider moving some of their portfolio to Bitcoin. This is why some people do it, is what I'm saying. Now that Bitcoin's broken out decisively, there is a strong chance, and it's just a chance, that Bitcoin is going to run harder than altcoins for the next, say, month and a half, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. And then altcoins will go off to the races. The reason why it's so important for me to cover this is if you're going to make that play early. And I'm not saying I recommend making that play. I'm only going to possibly make that play with a small percentage of my portfolio. And the reason is it's hard to time that. And altcoins can move so fast that sometimes if you're a little bit slow on selling your Bitcoin into the altcoins, you miss the beginning of the altcoin pump and you're no further ahead. What I'd hate to see happening is if it plays out like this and Bitcoin, say 3x's, you feel like you've missed the whole ride, your altcoins are doing nothing, you panic sell your altcoins into Bitcoin only to have missed the ride for your altcoins then to take off. Now when I was new in 2017, I did this before. And what's funny is as Bitcoin's running hard, all the channels start covering how well Bitcoin is doing and how much better it is than altcoins and blah, 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 blah. Right in time for you to have missed the whole boat anyway. And so you end up selling and moving into that. And then you end up worse. And my goal is to have the most informed audience, which my goal is also, or my hope is that leads to the wealthiest audience in the next 5 years, because I hope so many of you will stick around with us in the bear market. I will try to do things to make it interesting. I've been able to secure some giveaways, so we will be doing some giveaways in the coming month, and that will be, we're calling them 401Js. After in the United States, a savings vehicle is called a 401k. And so these 401Js goes to those that subscribe to specifically the projects are Federa and also Cortex. And I'll put their information below. If you want more information on them, I cover them just previously in depth, and I'll cover them frequently. Federa basically is giving gift cards in crypto that will end up in convenience stores and shops around the world where people are used to shopping, and then they can come and redeem them. And if they buy those gift cards, not only do they get that much in crypto, they also get some NFTs with it, NFTs from some of the top brands. And so really cool idea. The other one is Cortex, which is essentially a new idea like unstoppable domains, but essentially your website can also be used as your crypto wallet, but it can do a lot of additional things too. So with that said, I thank all of you for joining us. We do have MoodRex, who has been one of our sponsors this month. I did cover them in depth. They are a crypto algorithm or bot trading platform. They're the best one I've ever seen in this space by far. A lot of the bots I couldn't really get behind because they were too complex to use. And MoodRex, when you log in and you create an account, you can then see exactly what the different bots have been performing at in use, and before they were put in use, what they were doing back tested, but more importantly what they've been doing in use, because that gives you a good track record for it. And then you can look at the specifics of what cryptos it trades and see if that's interesting to you. If not, that's cool. I'm going to use that strategy a lot more in the bear market as one of my diversification strategies, because during the bear market what I noticed is things will pump based on certain news and then they'll return. And so just like the actual, buying when it hits certain lows and then selling and then buying back low and selling, I saw a lot of those patterns happen. And so I'm planning on playing around with that a lot this coming crypto winter. I do thank all of you for joining me, but I'm not quite done yet. I wanted to go into the water level idea. I talked about it the other day. This comes from my brother, who is a financial advisor, and he talks about water level. And water level is your comfort level of what your bank account is at. And so the higher your water level, the higher your desire to have a high bank account and to keep it there. I like that principle because I think many of us are going to do very well in crypto, not only this year, but especially 5 years from now. Because if you take this ride up and you harvest your gains well, and you put them into some good returns on stable coins or some other things, and then you have a lot of liquidity ready to deploy when the market gets really soft again, that puts you in a strong position to catch that wave too. Even stronger position than me, because I didn't take any gains during the 2017 run. Watch my portfolio fall way down to a fraction of what I've even invested. And so I had to start all over during the crypto winter, but I was stubborn enough to stick with it, knowing that, hey, at least I'm buying cheap. And so, but I had to, for the most part, just put fresh money in, and all that I had invested before, it went to 20% of what I had originally invested, and it, from where the tops were, boy, it retraced like 97%. So yeah, taking gains is really important. In fact, retrace more than 97%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do thank you for joining us. I've got a wrap for all of you. I will be talking more about financial freedom and just kind of how to think about money and how I think about money. Like many of you, I grew up poor. I joke that we were too poor for Kool-Aid, because literally we were too poor for Kool-Aid. We had to buy the off-brand Flavor Aid, and we'd only get 2 packs a month. We couldn't buy actual Kool-Aid because it was more expensive. And so I hope that many of you are actually grow up in that situation where you are poor, because it makes you hungry. And desire for to work hard, to grow yourself, is the best attribute you can have in this life. Most of the people that come from wealthy family do not continue the cycle. Their parents actually forget to teach them that hunger and that drive. And so actually 80% of wealth, inherited wealth, is wasted within 2 years. Fun fact for the day. Anyway, thanks for joining me this Saturday. I'm going to send you our nice wrap. Here you go.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you're good. Was taught to buy when it was boring, like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I'll always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time at the present. This next 5 years is a gift and a feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge to gain show. Sticking at this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. In 2 years time the bull will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.